communication is a solvent of all problems and is a foundation for personal development. The way we communicate with each other and ourselves ultimately determines our quality of life. Hello and welcome everyone. We are your hosts and those for today's talk show. I am Om Kakadi.
And I, Arnav Kashyap.
On behalf of Gajera International School, Uttarakhand, we heartily welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And to the most profoundly talk show of the day. Thank you for being with us, ma'am.
Thank you.
Today we all have gathered here to discuss upon a very important topic, that is the role of effective communication to build responsible behaviors in children. But why do we need to discuss on this concern? Actually, effective communication is a process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, knowledge and information such that the purpose or intention is fulfilled in the best possible manner. To have this special discussion, we have with us Ms. Shraddha Anand. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am is a resource person and material and curriculum developer for CBSE, ICSE schools and state boards. She is currently an author and an educational consultant with several educational publishers for the past 18 years. Along with that, she has been training teachers on a vast range of topics over a decade. She also gives motivational talks which help teachers to re-engineer their teaching methodology, pedagogy, transaction and delivery. It's an honor to have you with us today, ma'am. So, without any delay, let's start our valuable discussion.
So,
Okay.
ma'am, my first question for you is, how does effective communication affect child's development?
If you are able to communicate well, you are heard. So, for example, if you're in the class, if the children in the class, the children who do not communicate, nobody pays attention to them. So, you need to communicate with your friends, you need to communicate with the class teacher, with your parents. You should be able to express through your communication. So, communication is basically a link that you form with another person, and that has to be effective.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to appreciate your in-depth knowledge for this concern.
Ma'am, my second question for you is, what effective communication strategies school-age children should adopt?
The school should adopt strategies that children want. That means there are so many things that teachers want, but you need to express and ask the school, that means your teachers, ma'am, we want to learn this. Those strategies are then developed according to your requirement, because there's so many strategies. So teachers will think as adults their way. You will think as children your way. Your requirement might not match what they have thought. So first you need to tell them what you want. So for that you need to communicate to them.
Very well said, ma'am.
My next question for you is, ma'am, how can one encourage children to be responsible?
Okay, so I have always seen that children copy parents and they copy teachers. So if they find the adults in their life responsible, their older brothers and sisters responsible, they find their teachers responsible, they will also want to be responsible. And what was your question? Could you repeat that again?
How can one encourage children to be responsible?
So there are two ways in which we encourage the younger lot. One is extrinsic motivation. I might give you an award, I might give you a prize, I might give a younger child a smiley. Till the time I'm offering that, the child will do whatever work, whatever chore has been given very responsibly. But as soon as I take away that, the child does not want to do. So responsibility is a value which comes from inside. I want to be responsible. I want to be responsible for switching off the lights. I want to be responsible for switching off the fan. I want to be responsible for keeping my bedroom clean, for completing my homework. That should come from inside. Children don't like to be told again and again. Once you learn this, that this you are doing for yourself. Your marks are for you, they're not for your parents. Your room is yours. Your homework is yours. Then you automatically learn responsibility, and that responsibility extends to other things. You become more and more responsible.
Yes, ma'am. I hope our children, those who are watching this show, will get encouraged by your thoughts.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, here's my next question for you. What are the key features of effective communication?
Communication is listening, speaking, reading, writing. So, key features out of all of this, listening, speaking, reading, writing, is currently speaking. So, next time when I come to school, I'm going to sit with you and I'm going to sit with you. And without this, we will just talk without any help. Okay, that means we will not have our placards, we will talk without any help, which will show you what is effective communication. That means I am just speaking what I want to speak. Get it? And then, so spoken English is the most important in communication. If you're speaking correctly, you're automatically writing correctly, you're choosing the right reading correctly, you're able to understand what you're listening. Spoken English is most important feature. And then you've got your grammar, vocabulary and other things that you teachers keep teaching.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing this knowledgeable opinion. This will help us.
Ma'am, my next question for you is, what is a positive communication? How does it help children in maintaining positive and healthy relationships with adults?
So there is a gender gap. You're younger, you all are about 13, 12, 13, 14. I'm older, I'm 47. So that's about 30 years, 20 years more. 14, 24, 34, 44, 30, 35 years more. So I will think differently from you.
Us.
So what was your question? Come again?
What is positive?
Positive, yes. So what the way you will think is how your peers would think. The way I would think is how my peers would think. I would have expectations from children. I would want politeness from them. I would want them to be nice to me. I would want them to speak nicely to me. Whereas you would want whatever you want in your way. So positive communication is any communication which makes you feel encouraged. That means it is not negative ever. It is never telling you your spelling is wrong.
Positive.
If spelling is wrong will make you feel bad. Positive is every sentence how your teacher changes that and tells you, how about looking at this again? Maybe 3-4 words you can check again. Some ways that the teachers and your parents will use which make you feel good, which don't make you feel lesser than others. And you can do a lot of positive things. Like positive communication just comes when you're confident and happy. If you're confident and happy, you're always positive. And you know that I don't need to be negative. I should also spread positivity. For that you have to be positive yourself and communicate positively.
Thank you, ma'am, for your stimulating opinion.
So, ma'am, the next question I would like to ask you is, do you think the respect is the foundation of effective communication? How and why?
I'll give you an example of this, of respect. Now, my home is at a ground floor near a very large garden where I stay, the residential society where I stay. There are 2 sets of children over there. One set of children is less than 12 years old. The other set of children is more than 20 years old. They play cricket in that garden. So I feel as if I'm in the garden. I'm there on the cricket ground. I'm on the cricket field. I'm that close. So when I tell the little children, the younger ones, okay, Shada auntie is working, how long will you play? They all very sweetly tell me, we'll play for 1 hour or 2 hours. Sometimes I go and even join them to play cricket. Whereas the older ones are not respectful. That is their age. At that age, they want to do it there. They've decided we are going to play cricket and we are going to make noise and we will do it. So the communication breaks. When you are wanting effective communication, the other person must feel that you are giving respect and receiving respect. Okay, so giving and receiving respect will not let communication break. The people will be able to talk to each other. Get it? Giving and receiving.
I must say, ma'am, you are very witty and informative.
Thank you.
My final question is, does a child behavior's challenges get affected by his or her limitation in communication skill?
There are no end to limitations, but I have always felt that I have limitations. You have your own limitations, you have your own limitations. We are always growing, learning, overcoming those limitations. So they shouldn't undermine us, so they shouldn't bring us down. Limitations are always there. Somebody is better than us, somebody is not as good as us. So keeping that in mind, we just keep moving forward, keep moving forward, keep moving. We should feel we are learning and moving forward. Limitations will always be there, and we shouldn't see that as a block in our lives. You'll find yourselves, both of you or the other children also, you'll find yourself getting better next year and the year after that and the year after that. The year you don't find, you will know, this year I did not grow so. But respect is important, positivity is important, good connection with parents is important, good connection with teachers is important, good language is important, not using the kind of language a lot of people use today, but good language is important, politeness is important, and happiness and confidence.
So ma'am, what do you think? Why is it important for parents to be able to communicate openly and effectively with their children?
I'm a parent, my daughter's 20 years old, okay? So if I do not communicate openly with her, she would lie to me. Children tell a lot of lies because they feel scared. If I will tell my marks, or if I've done something wrong, or if I have whatever, children tell lies. Adults also, adults also tell lies. They feel shame. So open communication is to have the children understand that when we were your age, when I was your age, or when I was your age, even I made so many mistakes. But I want only happiness, good health, good life for you. So when a child understands that my parent wants good things for me, I can get a 0, I can tell, I can do wrong things, but my parent will explain this to me. Like, I'm giving my example of my daughter again. She's in Dubai right now. So both of us, when we do a video call, so she puts when she's there with me, I put my hand on her heart, and she puts her hand on my heart, and we talk. So while we're away, we put hand on our heart to each other and make promises on how our day is gone, what we're going to do, how we're not going to be stressed on studies, how we're going to exercise, how we're going to be happy. And I think that really works with her, because it works with me also. I feel that, okay, I've told her nice things. Rest, you all grow with your own time. We're very aware that whatever we expect from you will not happen today, tomorrow, or in a year. You will realize the worth of how much effort your parents are putting in for you over the years when you will grow up. Okay?
I would like to appreciate the information and advice you shared.
Thank you.
On behalf of Career Trust, we would like to thank our Honorable Chief Guest Ms. Shraddha for having a marvelous conversation with us. As without her presence and inspiring word, the show could not have been successful. Today we had opportunity to hear your thoughts, and I am sure that this will encourage us in our future. Your thoughts have enlightened our mind. Once again, thank you, ma'am, for adoring this occasion and sharing an opinion in the talk show. At last, we would like to thank our principal, ma'am, Dr. Tanuja Jha, and our educators for giving us this opportunity to being a part of show. Thank you for watching the show.
Thank you. And the pleasure has been all mine. This has been really nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.